Well, hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Grizzly Bear Sims YouTube channel. You found me here planting oilseed radish in field number 16. This video is probably gonna wrap up our activities for this particular day, for game day 5, as I make my turn here and come around and proceed. Everything looks like it's lining up nicely. Yeah, so pretty much we are almost out of activities for this particular day. We've got some additional crops that will come due to harvest in game day 6, which will represent late summer. I'm not sure how many videos we'll get out of that. We'll just do things as we need to do them and record and then progress to the next day whenever that time comes. So again, I had the boys plow this field. They fertilized it, then they plowed it, and now we are in the process of gonna sow oilseed rape for these fields. We've already done fields. Bring up the big map here. We've already done fields 14 and 15, and we're now going to do 16, and then I think it's 24 and 25 maybe. Can't remember. But the other two wheat fields that we had. Try to do as much green farming as we can. I don't think we're yet at a stage where we have enough accumulated liquid manure or regular cow manure. I don't think we're quite there yet. Plus our manure, regular dry manure, we're going to utilize that for our greenhouse operation, which will kick off probably sometime in the fall. Get those started up for winter income. Of course, we'll have income coming in from our dairy cows as well as our sheep. You know, you saw how much we made off that wool sell, so that is obviously a good cash crop for you. But you got to keep those sheep productive, and you need enough of them to sort of make it worthwhile, right? But once we accumulate enough manure and liquid manure, we will look into using that for fertilizing, or try to stretch it as far as we can get it to go. Obviously, we have a lot of fields, but we would probably utilize that type of fertilization for our fields that are close to the central farm. This might be one of them, but obviously our fields at 12, 14, and 15 would take advantage of liquid fertilizer and dry fertilizer as well. You know, unfortunately, the mission work in Farming Sim 17, you know, where it allows you to get a little bit of experience with some of the other pieces of equipment in the game, unfortunately, because of the way that it's obviously set up, you can't really tell how much fertilizer or how much manure, liquid manure, that you're actually spreading. And so I really don't know what to expect from, you know, the type of volume that we would need to have in storage for it to actually work. So currently, right now, is we have wrong tab. Looking at manure, so we've got liquid manure. We've got 108,000 liters in the cows. We've got 19,000 liters at the pig storage. So basically, almost 130,000 liters that we have there, and almost 90,000 liters of manure. But as I said, on the manure side of things, we're probably going to try to hang on to that for our greenhouse operations. Not really sure how much each of those will take to get those started. and we'll do that sometime either in late summer or fall, get those guys going. And of course you'll see that right here. Stevie, actually, speaking of greenhouses, Stevie released some new mods, which I'll be covering in the mod review, 5-minute mod review, coming soon. But if I understand our fertilization method with using oilseed radish, we fertilized the first time with chemical fertilizer. So we actually used the granular fertilizer, spread that on the field. The boys did that. Then they came along and they plowed the field. So that basically brought us up to the light blue color. If I think everything, the way that everything works, we should see, once we grow the oilseed radish, once we cultivate that oilseed radish into the ground, that should then take us to the medium blue category, second level. And then once we seed, whatever we're going to actually seed, and then if we come along and if we weed that, and we did a little bit of weeding, I don't know if I recorded that on gameplay or not, but I did a little bit of weeding just to kind of play around with that, because it had been something that I had not done before. Obviously it's new to 17, and did that, and that actually worked quite well. And as long as you weed, I think you weed within the first stage of growth. So basically once you see your crop visible, so I'm assuming after the what I meant to say is after the first stage of growth. So the crop is visible, run the weeder across it, and that will bump you to the next level. So in my thinking, that would bring us to dark blue, to the maximum fertilization level. So it's actually only using one element or one stage of a chemical fertilizer, and that was at the beginning before we plowed. Of course, I would like to take that to the next level, and that being with liquid manure. But again, we'll probably only be able to do a few fields of that. And we'll look at that at another stage down the line. So hope everyone's having a wonderful day. You know, the weather here in Colorado finally decided to resemble more of what we actually should see if we look at the calendar. You know, you're watching this, it's post-Thanksgiving, it's you know, the week after Thanksgiving. I did manage to spend some time during the Thanksgiving holiday. I managed to record a few episodes, a few videos, so that I would have that in advance. So maybe I will increase the release schedule. Of course, we've got the mod reviews that I'm going to be doing as well. Haven't really decided what sort of rotation I'm going to do those with. They will probably appear in the off schedule. So basically we do farm sim videos on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is when I release those. Was doing ATS and ETS2 sort of on a Tuesday and Thursday rotation, but to be quite honest, I'm just haven't been that excited about doing ATS and ETS2 videos. So I released one of each, and I really haven't recorded any more of my gameplay for those games. So I don't know, maybe at some stage I'll get excited about it, and maybe I won't. It just sort of depends on how I feel. What you get to see is kind of what I decide to record, and obviously what I decide to play. So I have spent a little bit of time in ATS with the beta version that's out that includes the rescale, and it's cool. They've added a lot of cool things to it, but you know, it still is the same 3-stage. of Arizona, California, and Nevada. So, you know, I have no idea how long we are away from a new state and how that state would be released, whether it would be DLC or whether it will be a paid DLC or free DLC. My guess is probably paid at this point, um, and probably deservingly so. I would think that, or at least that's my opinion. But I don't know when we're going to see that. Will we see it before the end of the year, or will it be, you know, sometime after? I don't know. You know, the whole reasoning that SES gave us for doing the rescale now versus later was that they would actually be able to do it before they got too far along in the whole map release process. So in other words, it would be easier for them to do the rescale for 3 maps than it would be to do the rescale for, you know, 4 maps or 5 maps or however long, however amount of time that went by between um, between the releases. So, you know, we'll just have to see. I would hope that now that the rescale is in beta, they have been pushing out some small updates. I really haven't taken the time to read to see what those updates included, but they have been releasing some updates, and you know, I'm sure that those updates are, you know, fixes and changes and stuff that has been reported to them. And so hopefully once that has been generally released to all audiences, that then they can shift their gears and put their attention towards the next map. And I believe that we're pretty darn close, I would think, to the whole France stuff for ETS2. That may actually be in beta right now. I haven't really paid much attention to the beta cycles on ETS2. I'm still playing, when I do play ETS2, I'm still playing on the regular version of Euro Truck Simulator 2 that's available for everybody. Primarily for that because I do enjoy the Pro Mods map extensions, both Pro Mods and Russia map. So obviously those would no longer work with the beta version of ETS2. So need to probably go out to the Pro Mods website and find out what is, you know, if they're actually working on an update. I'm sure they are. Their maps are quite popular. You know, I've talked about this, I think, before when I've talked a little bit about Euro Truck and American Truck Simulator, is that really what we need for ATS is we need a Pro Mods type, or even Pro Mods, because I'm pretty sure that when ATS came out many months ago, almost a year, it was February of 15 when ATS came out, I'm pretty sure that I read on the Pro Mods website that that they were looking for interested individuals that would be interested in basically doing ATS type map creation, but you know, under Pro Mods. And again, that's really what we need, because the maps that I've seen for ATS, they've pretty much all been just cut and paste copies of all right, of California, Nevada, Arizona, etc. All right, we're going to hire a worker, and I'm going to take an opportunity here to grab a screenshot, a thumbnail. There we go. All right, so again, if we bounce over to our truck here, I think we're going to look at the option of selling some of our wheat. That'll give us something to do that we really haven't done yet. And so let me just take a look at our inventory of wheat. We have 111,000 liters of wheat. The great demand is actually at Wright Agribusiness, although that's not the highest paying location. But you know something, we're not necessarily playing this series to see how much money we can accumulate. It's really been about, you know, whether or not we can stockpile enough materials to make it through our winter, and whether we have enough cash to make it through our winter. And yeah, I mean, cash is important, but you know, we've got our wool. Wool's going to produce, going to continue to produce, and we're going to have opportunities to sell wool. I think what we're going to do is, you know, Mr. Wright needs this wheat, and we've got it, and I think we're going to honor the great demand, and we're going to, I think we're going to take that out to him and sell him at least one load of wheat. So let's go ahead and we'll get in our truck, get into the cab here for you. And let's see how we look there. Yeah, it looks good. All right, start filling. So we're going to R, and we're going to take them wheat. So we'll go ahead and fill this guy up. You know, there are so many different ways that you can play this game. Obviously, you can play it in career mode, where you know you need to only sell your crop to the very highest highest buyer at the highest price, and even go so far as to, you know, trying to sell as much quantity as you can so that it doesn't change that price. I'm not 100% sure how the market works in 17. I know in 15 that market would tend to reset itself at the top of the hour. I think it was at the top of the hour. It might have been every 30 minutes, but you could, in other words, you could sell a whole bunch of material, a whole bunch of grains or whatever to us, to whoever was paying the highest amount of money for that. And then as long as you sold all of that before the top of the hour, then the price wouldn't necessarily drop and drop beyond the threshold that, you know, no longer made it profitable. But 17 has a completely different economic scale to it, and I believe that a lot of what drives the economics behind 17 is sort of how much you have in your silos, how much maybe you have planted in your fields. So I don't know if these businesses are driving around and taking a look at, you know, what I have planted versus what someone else has planted. And we're going to kind of take the long way around, I think. Turn off our flashers. We'll go through town anyways. We'll try to honor the speed limit there. You know, we're not really, you know, in this series, since we, at least since we sort of restarted the series with seasonal farming. We haven't done any work for the other farmers. We really haven't had a need to, but we are trying to somewhat, honor their needs and their requests and everything as best as we can. And so, Mary had wanted a bunch of corn, as much corn as we could possibly provide to her. And our corn crops this year just didn't produce the kind of yield that we needed in order to really feel comfortable about sending that crop off. Obviously, we needed some for we needed the big field for chaff, and we needed our other smaller fields. We needed that to utilize for our pigs. And so I've been talking to Mary, and she really needs the corn, and I think we're going to be able to work out a situation that I think is going to benefit all of us, including, obviously including her. And the mirror on this truck is just pretty much useless, I think. Um, but anyway, so stay tuned for that. How we're going to try to help Mary out and get some corn. There's a sawmill over there. We're not really doing any, or don't really have any plans to do any forestry on this map, um, at least not right now. Is this truck gonna pull this hill? It's struggling. I think I'm sure it's going. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. Oh, bear crossing. I haven't seen any bears on this map. We do try to keep our trash cans and everything like that all tightly secured and as best as possible. I think we need to take a left turn right up here to head over to Mr. Wright's place. Let me just check this on the big map. Yep, I think that'll do it. I haven't been up here other than to do a mission, so I haven't delivered anything to Mr. Wright before. Alright, let's go ahead and tip and see what we get out of this. $36,499. Not bad. Not bad at all. Plus, we've helped out Mr. Wright. And let's just see. We still have 52,000, so we are going to hold on to that. I told him that we would try to bring him as much as we felt comfortable with, and so bringing him a load, and this tipper, I think it was 59,000 is the capacity of this model. So that's what I feel comfortable in letting him have, and he paid a good fair price for that. And if our barley crop is good, and because obviously we can substitute barley for wheat, if our barley crop is good, then I may, and if he's still in the market for more, then I may consider touching base with him, but we'll see. All right, let's go back the other way. As I was saying before, there's multiple ways to play the game. There's multiple considerations, things that you can do. You know, we're sort of doing the seasonal farming stuff, and it's a lot of fun. I've been tracking things somewhat manually, and I know I said I would share my spreadsheet, and I will publish that at some point in time. It's just that you know, doing a little tweaking and just making sure that everything is working out fine. Most of this is just needs to be in your imagination, and you know, if you want to, you know, if you want to sell a great demand, or if you want to sell the highest paying, you know, that's completely up to you. If you want to play things to try to figure out, you know, your success failure is how much money you make, that's fine too. We own a couple of fields right over there. I think we've got some sugar beets planted, or maybe potatoes planted over there on that long skinny field. So those will be coming up in the autumn. We do have both types. We've got sugar beets and potatoes planted, but we've got relatively small amounts. We do have one field that is one of the larger fields that has potatoes in it, and if we do have a need for somebody that needs potatoes on that sort of scale, we'll see what kind of deal we can cut them on that. And we'll just park this up right here for now and turn the engine off, and we will get out and go and get in our pickup and go check on Billy Bob and see how he's doing planting the oilseed radish. Hopefully he's done, at least with that one field, and we can help him get moved over to the other field. Yeah, it looks like he is done. You know, if I'm not mistaken, one of the features of cattle and crops is supposed to be, we'll actually pull over here, it's supposed to be the ability to essentially assign tasks to your AI workers, where you don't have to do this anymore. You don't have to basically move their equipment for them. You can basically, if I understand it correctly, you basically can say, you know, Mr. AI, I want you to go and plow field 23, and they will basically move to that location and they will plow that field 23. That's pretty darn cool. It's almost, you know, it's almost like horseplay built into Farm Sim 8, you know, regular Farm Sim AI. Go ahead and let him finish that. And we will jump out and try not to get in his way. And we'll run back over here, get in our truck, and I think we need to helper B. Oh, that was us. Helper B is blocked by an object. That was us. He should be moving. Yep. All right. Starting to get late, guys. We'll do a little animal cleanup. Went ahead and in the previous video we cut that hay or cut that grass, and you might remember we did the test to see if belled grass will remain grass, and it does. So that's cool. So we went ahead and also mowed that grass and belled that as well. So we have a small stack of grass at with our sheep, and we have a little bit larger capacity up here with our cows. Not a whole lot because we did use some, but I went ahead and put all that up. And so we will jump in our telehandler. There's our grass and there's our hay. So yeah, there is a slight visible difference between the two, which is good. That way we can keep up with what's what. And we don't need our bell fork. And we have been using some of our straw. And let's go ahead and clean up with our cows here. Well, I tell you what, Stevie, I'm pretty sure that he must have did something to facilitate the ease of cleaning up after the animals, because this is just, I mean, this is just super easy. I mean, this is a nice test to do. You know, I complained about it in the base game, and I know that Giants, they did some things to one of the updates. Oops. They did some things with regards to animal cleanliness and the ability or the ease of doing it. It made some changes. Things got a little bit better. And I think maybe we miss some. That's not Stevie's fault. That was our own. A job worth doing is a job worth doing right. Is that what they say? All right, that's the cows done for the evening. I think the wife was making a nice dinner tonight. I poked my head in the house a few minutes ago to see how things were going, and it smelled something wonderful. So I'll try to get some of these chores done here and then get back down before it gets too late. Now keep in mind, folks, that the seasons mod that's from Modding Central, that doesn't do anything other than display the season name in the upper right hand HUD. Doesn't actually affect the gameplay. It doesn't affect seasons. It doesn't affect the time, which was something a little odd that I sort of noticed today as the time started to approach, you know, like about 4 o'clock, 4:30. So almost an hour and a half ago in game time, you know, the shadows were really starting to get somewhat long, and it looked the the available light was sort of dimming a little bit. Um, and we can just kind of, we'll get out of our vehicle here and take a look, and you can kind of see that, you know, it's not a bright sunny day anymore. For midsummer, even in Colorado, it's still, you know, we don't, it doesn't get dark until 8:30 or so, and it only gets, you know, it starts getting dark at 8:30 only because the sun sets below the mountain range and sort of blocks a lot of the light and everything. But obviously, you know, giants don't necessarily have any sort of particular month or season or anything in mind. It's just kind of always, you know, spring, summer, fall in Farm Simulator. But this is almost more of a, well, let's see, it's November and it's getting dark um, around 5 o'clock, 5:15 right now. In another few weeks, it'll be dark around 4:30. Um, Especially again because of the mountains. Once that sun once that sun gets down below the mountains, you know, Denver's on the east side, and so once the sun gets down below the western slope, it's, you know, it gets dark. All right, and there's our stacked bells there. We'll obviously use those up in the coming days. Don't have a facility or a shed or anything. I looked at placing a placeable up here, and just it didn't look right because of the terrain. So we will probably, you know, we'll use that hay up before it rains, or that grass up before it rains, and probably just store it all up up here with the cows, and then just carry it down as we need it. Sounds like the plan. Next game day, we should be able to go ahead and mow this big field here, and we'll be tethering most of it for hay. Probably some of it we'll leave untethered for, oh, we need to put our shovel over here. Some of it we'll leave untethered for grass. All right, well, let's go down and see what Billy Bob's done, if he's finished, as we slide across the hood of our truck. This has been a really productive month, midsummer. I think we've recorded about 4 or 5 videos out of this game day, and yeah, got a lot done. Beautiful, beautiful. One thing that I noticed, and I wanted to just test this, and it will be a good time to actually test it right quick, is I had an issue with, we'll leave this running and we'll just jump out and go over here and get him lined up and see if follow me is still working. Oh, looks like he destroyed a portion of our soybeans. I have to talk to him about that. Oh, it does work. I guess I was playing around with another, with the semi pulling a trailer, and it basically had an issue with follow me. It could not find the trail. But I've also rebooted and restarted the game since then, so it might have just been a minor glitch. But I have read some people posting some stuff on the forums about Follow Me not working since the 1.3.1 17 patch came out. But other people also posted and said, nope, it's working fine. So I can say that, yep, it's working fine. Yep, I see him in our mirrors. He's driving as erratic as we are. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I will just say that I thank you so much for watching, and just want to remind you that if you're not subscribed, please consider doing so. And likewise, if you like the videos, please like them. If you have questions, please leave questions, comments. Constructive criticism is fine with me. I'm pretty much doing all that I really know to do, other than try to share a little bit of information with you, and try to do things as realistic and as accurate as possible, or at least as accurate as I know how to do. I'm not a farmer in real life, and I'm an IT guy, so I'm about as far away from a farming career as one can be. But I do my best, and I do enjoy this game immensely. And if you're still on the fence about getting Farm Sim 17, I can't say enough good things about it. It really is a remarkable um, game, over a lot of positive changes between 15 and 17, as I've illustrated plenty of times before. But just want to say thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I look forward to bringing you a new video. We will be in late summer. It'll be a new game day 6. Late summer, and we'll have some things to harvest and other things that we need to do, and of course animals, and probably selling some more wool, and just a lot of things to do on the farm. So thank you for watching. I do appreciate it, and I look forward to coming back and seeing you again very soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.